Hey guys, welcome back to Motivated School, and today we're gonna study a really important topic. It is called present perfect or present perfect continuous. I hope you already know that English has a dozen of grammatical tenses. They are divided into 4 groups. I also refer to them as aspects. For example, simple aspect, continuous, perfect or perfect continuous aspect. All right, today we're gonna study the present perfect aspect and the present perfect continuous aspect. So let's get going. As this topic is quite difficult to comprehend, let me enlighten you about our plan. We'll study how to use the present perfect, then how to use the present perfect continuous, and finally, we'll learn the difference between these tenses. I suppose you already know how to make both of these tenses. If not, please visit some websites and study this. Or you can go to my tenses course. The link will be down below. Yeah. Well, let's find out when we can implement the present perfect. Case 1. Have you ever written a blog? The key word here is ever. We use it for a past situation, especially when we don't want to give any details about it. Ever is когда-либо. То есть мы не говорим точно, с кем мы что-то делали, когда мы это делали, какая была погода вокруг, как мы это делали, и никакие детали мы не даем. Мы говорим просто о факте того, что это когда-то где-то было. And the answer might be I have never written a blog. Я никогда этого не делал. This is also another way how to use it in the present perfect. Case 2. I've already told you that 3 times. Or he hasn't cleaned his room yet. The key words here are already and yet. Опять же, исходя из case 1, мы не знаем точно, когда ситуация произошла или не произошла. Мы не имеем никаких дополнительных деталей о ней. Мы говорим просто, что что-то уже сделано или еще не сделано. I hope you remember when we use already and yet. We use already in affirmative, утвердительные, in affirmative sentences, but we use yet in negative sentences or in questions. Case 3. I have called him twice this week. The key word or the key phrase is this week. It talks about an unfinished time period. То есть, я ему позвонил уже дважды на этой неделе. Я могу позвонить трижды. Могу позвонить еще один раз и еще один раз. То есть, это время, которое еще актуально, но еще не закончено. Что-то может поменяться. Okay, let's continue. You can also say today, this month, or this year. Они будут обозначать, в принципе, то же самое. Какой-то незаконченный промежуток времени. Case 4. I've known her since I was a child. Or I've known her for 10 years. The key words here are since and for. They describe that something started in the past and goes on in the present. So here you see a brief summary. So we use the present perfect to talk about a situation that happened in the past, but without any details. Also, we use it with the words like already and yet, with an unfinished time period like this week, this month, or with the words like since and for. All right. That's good. That's all about the present perfect. Now let's go to the present perfect continuous. Case 1. It's been raining all day. The key phrase is all day. We use it to emphasize the duration of the action. Don't forget that the tense is called present perfect continuous. Here we just emphasize that it's been raining all day. Весь день. Yeah, that's good. Case 2. I've been shopping. Now I'm exhausted. In this example, you can feel the causal relationship between the two parts of the sentence. So I'm now exhausted because previously I was shopping a lot. We see some result in the present. То есть, причинно-следственная связь, как я уже до этого сказал, что-то произошло или происходило, лучше сказать, в прошлом, и сейчас есть какой-то эффект, какой-то результат. Alright, case 3. For example, he has been feeling sick recently. The key word is recently. This describes a temporary situation. Непостоянная, временная ситуация. Maybe he was sick 2 days ago, yesterday, now he is sick, and maybe he'll be sick tomorrow, but it is not permanent, it's just temporary. Alright, case 4. I've been living here since 1980. Or, we've been living here for 30 years. The keywords are since and for. And again, it describes something that started in the past and continues in the present. Of course, that rings a bell, right? We've already had similar examples when we talked about the present perfect. And that's where these sentences are pretty much the same. Well, now let's get a brief summary of this. So we use the present perfect continuous to emphasize the duration of an action. For example, all day, all evening. Then we use it to introduce or reason with the word recently and since and for. Alright, now let's compare these two tenses. It's not difficult to comprehend that the first three aspects are absolutely different, but the highlighted ones are the same. And you might ask me, what is the difference? Well, let's talk about it. For example, I have studied English for 5 years, or I have been studying English for 5 years. What is the difference? Actually, these examples are pretty much the same. Please don't try to find any difference here, alright? But if we talk about these examples, I have known her for 5 years, or I have been knowing her for 5 years. Here, they are not the same. Why? Because know is never used in continuous tenses because this is a stative verb. For example, stative verbs are have, understand, like, hate or love. То есть те глаголы, которые, в принципе, логически мы не особо можем использовать в каком-то процессе. For example, I have had my car for 5 years. It's okay. But the second example is totally wrong. Of course, it's not all the information about these tenses, but this is the information you need to know. Alright, now let me switch into Russian to offer you something really useful. Получите дополнительные материалы. В них входит эта презентация для повторения, банк с заданиями для практики, а также ответы к этим заданиям, чтобы себя проверить. Давайте будем практиковаться и стараться привносить эту грамматическую тему еще и в речь. Напишите боту по ссылке в описании или в закрепленном комментарии для того, чтобы все это дело получить. И давайте же встанем на путь к улучшению нашего английского языка. Надеюсь, мои уроки вдохновляют вас. И если это так, пожалуйста, оставьте мне свой фидбэк в комментариях или же в Telegram channel. So, yeah, don't forget to check it. Thanks a lot and see you in my next videos. Stay motivated.